Hello, lovelies. It's G here from Golden Thread Tarot. I'm here to bring you another channeled message. I hope this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance, my sweets. Spirit has a message here for you. By the way, it's kind of storming when I'm filming right now. So if the lights go off or if my animals have like a little freak out because it's like thundering and lightning, you guys can probably hear it in the background. I'm definitely feeling like there's a lot of like chaos energy in the way of like a good like. That was so weird. Okay, so I'm sorry. That really threw me off. So the wind just caught my back screen like storm glass door and like slung it open. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but it just like slung it open. So doorways are opening up for you guys. I know you guys saw my face because I was like, what is that noise? As I was just saying, there might be some distractions. Okay. So Spirit is saying there are doorways opening up here for you to find happiness, for you to find your true path. Enlightenment is happening, right? Doorways are really opening up for you to really find out some truths here. And Spirit is saying that for, okay, Spirit is saying that for some of you, like, they're saying it's time for you to let go. Because that they were showing me the Three of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So like your independence from the situations in the past are really kind of, it's like holding on to like this heartache or like this trust issues or like things like that from the past is really blocking new relationships and new like companionships from coming into your life. Or it's kind of not blocking it, Spirit wants to say, but it's like kind of like slowing down manifestations that you're really trying to bring in, especially if you're trying to manifest. So there's, my door is like keeps like squeaking open. Oh my god, I don't know. It's giving me the chills for some reason. Like I'm getting the chills from that happening. Like maybe it's just like the pitch of like the squeak or something. It's giving me those like creepy. You know how it's like how you've been like conditioned to have those reactions. It's like when you hear um, like that creaky door and stuff like that in like horror movies and stuff, or when you can hear like the music like coming up to a crescendo or something. It's like something is about to happen. So it's kind of those feelings where it's kind of giving me that kind of creepy or eerie feeling. Um, but Spirit is saying that there's something here that's giving you this kind of reaction that's not actually something that's really going to actually serve you. Like they're showing, yeah, there's something here about you being like really freaked out, maybe about walking through this doorway or walking into this because perhaps maybe of past hurt or past pains or past times that you were really betrayal. Yeah, I feel that really heavy on my heart chakra. Goodness. Yeah, times when past soulmate energies or past choices that you've made have actually felt like maybe like competition, like this need this like, ooh, this Five of Swords is giving me like this energy of, yeah, it's like people that were supposed to be your friends or people that were supposed to be your loved ones or people that were supposed to bring in happiness and bring in companionship for you in the past have really actually turned out to be kind of like frenemies or enemies, or like people who actually were like comparing themselves to you or like competing with you in ways that you didn't realize. It's like maybe you've gone through a lot of tower moments. They're literally showing me how I was just standing out on my front porch a minute ago letting my dogs use go potty before, okay, no, before I started this reading, and about how like I was praying about releasing and letting go things from my past. And I literally like opened my eyes and looked up, and like just giant lightning bolt just like went across the sky. So they're showing me that imagery of me just seeing that. So there's a lot of tower moments that have been happening here, especially in like soulmate relationships that have really affected your heart chakra or your ability to love or your ability to feel like open and accepting of love coming into your life. Look at this. Look at you blocking out. Look at that. You're just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about these advances. I don't know about this. But Spirit is saying, like, it's time to let that stuff go. Like, there's this judgment energy here. What's there? Ten of Pentacles. So this has been something that's been going on for a while. This is something that, even for some of you, maybe has been handed down to you. Yeah, betrayal. Like I was saying earlier, you really felt like you're really overcoming like a betrayal and letting go and releasing something out of your heart chakra that Spirit's saying it's really going to help you. Okay. Yeah, the truth. Look at this. Archangel Michael. I was just about to say Archangel Michael because I have my Archangel Oracle deck sitting over here for a different reading, but like for some reason that just like stood out to me so strongly. Like it's sitting right here, the deck is, and I was like, I feel like I was just about to say, I feel like an angel has a message for you, and look, the truth, and I was like, oh, the sword, like Archangel Michael, and then I picked it up, and there's the King of Swords, which for me, if we're talking about spirit guides, for me represents Archangel Michael. So let's open this up and see what's going on. Okay. Okay. So specifically, Archangel Michael might have a message for you, but just like there's an angel message here for you for sure. So please God, let truthful messages come forward. What is it that needs to be said that this collective needs to know right now? Okay. So gentleness, Archangel Sandalphon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. Exactly. So your angels really want to tell you right now, like the people, yeah, like yes, you are a very sensitive person, and you have been very affected by the people that you were having around you. And that's what Spirit said, like there was betrayals, there was things that were happening behind your back that you really needed to know, and this truth coming out is really like helping you to cut out, right, energies that don't belong in your space right now, are actually tearing down your energy in ways that you don't realize. It really wasn't like, yes, of course it felt like a betrayal, right? Of course it felt like a betrayal, but Spirit is saying this is something that you're kind of like holding on to actually, and that it's kind of actually blocking you and slowing you down from like having that kind of King of Wands energy where you're like getting up and going out, right? Getting up and going out the full, taking those calculated risks, defending, you know, like stepping up for yourself, having that. It's like this energy of like going out there, getting out there, putting yourself back out there and walking away from these burdens in the past that no longer serve you, right? It's like committing to a new path. That's why here, Judgment with Archangel Gabriel on the beginning, right on the top of the card there. You know, it's like it's time for you to let go of some of this in the past from that you were holding on to, right? Some of this things that needed to be healed within you. They were actually like slowing down your path moving forward. And of course, the other card that came out was Spread Your Wings, Archangel Ariel. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. So Spirit is saying like it's your time right now. Like it's not time for you to be scared and to focus on the betrayals that you dealt with in the past. Okay, I'm gonna let that fall. Okay. So of course. Of course. Right? Brilliant idea, Archangel Uriel. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. So you are being granted. And look, I just talked about how I saw that lightning bolt here, right? When I was like praying to like let go and things like that. And look at this. Look at this angel holding the lightning bolt here, right? Saying, hey, it's time for you to let go. You are being given divine ideas, divine inspiration. So it's time for you to act on those. It's time for you. Don't allow things that really held you back in the past to continue to hold you back. And of course, the last message at the bottom of the deck is Archangel Michael with crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So don't allow situations from your past to hold you back, right? Clairsentience is here as well. Notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings. They signify divine guidance. Whew. I love the holographicness like of these cards, but it makes it so hard to read. Sometimes I'm just like, what is that saying? Because it just shows shiny and bright. Yeah, so it might be actually kind of hard. It might have been a truth that was hard to swallow, but it was something that you needed to hear because there's actually, you know, there's divine guidance here because Spirit is saying right now you need to be around this gentleness energy. You need to be around kind and loving energy. And for some reason, you know, the situation that you were around in the past, and then also continuing to live in that moment and reoccur and bring up those, kind of commiserate with yourself and like bring up those past memories. It's not serving you. It's actually just bringing down your energy. Be careful of the seeds that you're planting in your mind and in your energy field around you. So spirit is saying temperance. It's like slow down, take your time, really look around. There's clearing energy that's actually here helping you. It's happening for you, not to you, kind of energy, right? You're not a victim here. Like obviously if some kind of attack happened or something like that, but you know what I mean with that kind of, it's happening to you. It's really about your intentions. Free will comes into it in to the fact that when spirit says, like, one, free will plays into us creating our reality, right? Yes, there are situations that are beyond our control. There are events that will be happening in our life that are beyond our control, and it's not for us to control the events that are happening in our life. It's for us to decide and to choose how we are going to react and what we are going to take out, what lessons we are going to take out of that. Are we going to take out the lessons that, if we have, say we have a partner that's treating us like crap, are we going to take out of it that oh, we must deserve this, or there must be an issue with us? Is it our issue? Is it our insecurities? We're the problem, because sometimes it is us. We just have to admit that, right? Or are we going to, not in that situation, but in a situation where your partner is tearing you down? Obviously it's the other person that's the issue. Obviously, it's their insecurities or their things, which is why but it's about how you choose to see that situation. So afterwards you can choose to see, like, wow, I just attract the really most terrible partners and it's like this. Or is it, hey, like, there's a lesson there's a lesson that I don't deserve this, that I need to want more for myself, and I need to give more to myself, and I need to expect more from the partners that I'm with. I don't need to be okay with that. Hey, maybe I need to kind of realign and ask myself how I really view my partnership, how I really view what a partnership is, how I really view what it means for me to love somebody and to allow them access into my life. Um, there's balancing here that spirit is showing you, like, hey, um, it's time to kind of let go of some things that were really holding you back in the past. So this could be issues with control issues with you. Okay, you could have really had a lot of issues in the past where you felt like things were beyond your control, like things, it's this kind of feeling of like, I have to be this way because the world is a terrible, mean, horrible place, and everyone's always out to get me, or everyone's trying to stab me in the back. It's that kind of energy, and that can be on a scale. Confirmation there. I don't know if you guys heard that big thunder, but confirmation there. um it's just, and spirit is saying, like, it's not about you controlling the situation that happens, because we can't control how spirit sets up things to come in our life, or the experience necessarily that we're having. What spirit is always asking us to do is to choose to respond. To choose. Free will comes in our response to the stimulus that we're experiencing, our response to the, yeah, to the experience that we're living, right? To the life that we're living. It's not as much about controlling what comes in and out of your life, right? The experiences it's not about controlling the experience, it's about controlling how you see what the experience means to you. Does that make sense? I feel like I was looking for a way to explain that in a way that spirit wanted to come out, but I don't know if I succeeded in that. But anyway, this is about you finding your true happiness at the end of the day, and spirit, is saying that there's a lot here for you. There's a lot of growth happening here for you, and there's also a lot of protection. A lot of protection here for you. Yeah, there's a lot of protection and a lot of energy flowing around, of course. Four of Pentacles in reverse now, right? You letting go and finding your true happiness, still on the back of the deck, right? Finding that true happiness for yourself. It's kind of like this starting a new kind of energy, right? I really feel like a lot of you are learning a really deep, like, emotional karmic lesson right now. Letting go. What more are you telling the collective about what they're letting go of right now, spirit? What do they need to know? Some of you might be feeling quite abandoned or lost in the place that you are right now. And whether or not you consciously feel that way, it could be your inner child, or it could be like your shadow self really speaking out, really having something to say about this issue of feeling very lost, or feeling very alone, or feeling on the outside, feeling not accepted, feeling isolated, feeling, yeah, there's a big strike of lightning. I was sorry right when I said that. Feeling isolated, feeling like you just don't, confirmation, like you just don't align. Thank you, Spirit. I love doing readings when there's like thunderstorms happening outside, because it just shows alignment, right? It shows my which is really nice. That's nice to feel that way, to see that, to feel that. It yeah, there's just this feeling of isolation here, like feeling lost or feeling isolated. It's like you felt lost and you felt isolated because you were with the wrong people, or you were in the wrong relationship, or you were in the wrong area, or you were in the wrong field of study. Like, it's almost like this situation of like, you weren't the problem. That's what spirit keeps, like, you weren't the problem, right? And it's not like to pass blame alone necessarily, but you might have been made to feel like you were the problem, and the fact of the matter is, you and this people were just different. You and this people just didn't line up, or you and this person just didn't line up. It's like people always making you feel like you're the problem, because the truth is, you're meant to be somewhere different. You're meant to be with somebody else. You're meant to have different friends, or you're meant to be in a different relationship, or you're meant to be in a different career, or you're meant to be surrounded by different people. You are a very sensitive person, and your environment plays in the people, including the people that you're around, and the people you call friend, the people you call family, the people that you give your time and your energy and your care to. It matters. And spirit, is reminding you, like, this tower moment happened because for a lot of you, you prayed for it. For a lot of you, you prayed to see the truth. You prayed to have, it's reminding me of this, was it a TikTok or I don't know, it was a short video or something. It was a girl, a woman, not a girl, I'm sorry, a woman, and she said up like a conversation. It was between like her and the universe. And it's like her coming up and she's like, what the hell? And the universe is like, what? And she's like, why is all this happening in my life? And the universe like pulls out a little notebook, and they're like, have the glasses on, and they're like, did you not 3 weeks ago say, and I quote, I just wish I could have a whole new life? And then it goes back to the girl, and she's like, yeah, but I didn't want to like lose my career. I didn't want to lose my job and get a divorce. And the universe was like, you haven't been satisfied in your career, and you haven't been satisfied in your marriage for years. So what are you talking about? Like, how do you expect a whole brand new life to come in that you're happy and that you love without things falling apart first? And basically it was about, it was about understanding that things are happening for you, not to you, right? That when things feel like they're falling apart, that's when God, spirit, the universe is working the most in your life, right? Because if things are falling apart, it just means you're changing and you're unaligning with things that are around you, and spirit is clearing it away so that you can align with things that, so that you can align with new things, right? Different things. And for a lot of you, hey baby, I know you okay. My dookie, she's nervous. All the rain and thunder. You okay, baby? Yeah, it's okay. You sit right there by mommy. Um, my girl. That it's time right now for you to surround yourself with situations and environments and people that are a lot more gentle and understanding, right? You felt on the outside, you felt different because, you didn't actually really belong there. And it wasn't like you were worth being there. It's just there was a different place for you, There's a different place for you to be. And spirit is really trying to get you to like point yourself in that direction. Yeah. But there is this kind of sense of trying to balance between two worlds. Like, there was a long time I feel like that you were kind of denying or running away from the truth of the situation, and that spirit was saying, it's time for you to stop balancing in between these two states of being, and it's time, for you to really choose one. They're showing me the Page of Pentacles, where it's like the person holding the single pentacle, right? You're finding your strengths here in this process, especially your emotional strength. There's something here about really finding your emotional strengths throughout this situation, finding how strong you really are. You know, because these could have been friends or family members or situations where you're like, I could never be by myself. I could never do this. I could never walk away from this. I could never give this up, right? And Spirit is saying that, you know, this tower moment came in for you to, you know, really spend this time by yourself so that you could really look inside. And like I said, there was a form of kind of like, you know, of you being like, oh, no, like, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this, because you didn't like the way that it looked, or you didn't like the way that it came about, you know? And it's like, well, we don't always like the way, like, things are happening to give us what we're asking the universe for. Sometimes we don't realize exactly what we're asking for. And sometimes it's because we don't realize the path that the universe is going to take to get us there, right? Because sometimes, because a lot of people, they focus on the path and they feel, yeah, Spirit is saying that you were really trapped until you could stop and see the situation this way. You needed to see the truth because you were actually being very hung up in the situation. You're actually trapping yourself in the situation. Something here about these connections or this environment that you had yourself in was really actually stifling you, and you didn't even realize it. Oh my God, what is that? Is a really, really old song. Well, it's not like that old, but it's that Didn't Even Know It song. I can't even remember the lyrics, but just that. Some, didn't even know it, didn't even know it. Oh, that just came out of nowhere. I haven't heard that song in so long, in years. So I can't even remember any of the lyrics of it right now. But I just kept. That's just the part that Spirit just like. Part was like, you didn't even know it. Like, there's some situation here that Spirit like spared you from, or like separated you from, that you didn't even realize was really happening. Are you ready to talk about this? Okay, what's the situation here that was happening that the collective didn't even understand? Like, Page of Swords. I'm getting that there was some kind of communication. It could have been, yeah, okay, so there was some kind of communication. There was some kind of revelation that was going to come out here. I don't know, but for some of you, I was hearing that your spirit guides knew that, like, a friend or somebody that was in the environment that they have removed you from was going to set you up with somebody, like, romantically, like get you to go on a blind date or something like that. That person would have been so toxic and bad for you. Like, Spirit was just like, oh, no, 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 no. I saw where this was going, and this is a hell no. For some of you, you might have even just been like, fuck it, I'll go on this date, I'll have a good time. Yeah, I'm hearing one and done. You might have even hooked up with this person. If you are able, it's possible that you could have gotten this person pregnant, or you could have gotten pregnant by like this person or something like that. There's something here around that with somebody. And it's like a situation that never even came about because Spirit just removed you from this environment to begin with. There was somebody around you that did not have the best intentions for you. And it's like, yeah. Also, for some of you, if the event that separated you away from a friend group, or separated you away from something, was the fact that you got denied traveling somewhere, like say like you find out that your friends like planned a vacation or something without you, or say that, you know, plans got canceled, and or you know, that you didn't end up going on a trip with that partner, and then you guys ended up breaking up before you went on the trip or something like that. That was a blessing. You guys have no idea. There was something that would have happened on that trip that would have been very life altering. You could have had an accident, or you could have been attacked or something like that. Whoa. What was happening here, Spirit? Okay. So the same two cards came right back out. For a lot of you, you were just being mentally trapped. Yeah, it's kind of like I was talking about earlier, that misery loves company kind of energy. It's like the people that you were around just had this very kind of like, yeah, they had this mentality that spirit was saying was not serving you. Like it was actually lowering your vibration to be around these people. These people could have even made you question yourself all the time, or question your worth in some kind of subconscious way. They could have made you question like your spirituality or your thoughts on the universe, or like, I don't know, your thoughts on manifesting or something along your spiritual path here. And spirit is saying it's actually, these people are actually trapped in a mindset that spirit, the exact mindset that spirit is trying to is trying to like untie you out of. But I just keep hearing that trapped, 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 trapped. Like there was some kind of trap here. Again, it's kind of reminding me of this kind of baby trap energy as well. But it's also reminding me, I don't know, there's something about staying in the environment that you were that was going to lead you down a path that would have kept you very karmic, or would have kept you very trapped in the way that you used to think before you started evolving and like, yeah, people in your old environment were leading you down a path. Because like I often don't get this energy, but the energy can't, the full card can absolutely represent also somebody who's making foolish decisions, or somebody who is taking, who is the fool can come across, the full card has, holds all, like all cards hold multiple energies and multiple meanings. And it can mean having that faith, trusting spirit to step off, to trust where you're being guided. But it can also mean you like blindly following where you're being guided to as well, right? If we take it to the more negative direction that this energy, that this card embodies, the energy that this card embodies. And that's what I'm getting from that. It's kind of almost like this, like, you don't realize the path that they were leading you down. You don't realize the path that being in association with this place, this thing, this environment that you were in before, how it was really leading you down this path of continuing to stay trapped. When spirit was like, we had to take you to the extreme here, or had to take you to the part where you, to take you to set up a situation where they either, where you felt very betrayed, but spirit was saying you were being betrayed in a way that you didn't even realize it. And for some of you, these people were betraying you in a way that they don't even realize, right? It was subconscious. They were just doing what they do, but spirit is saying that they weren't, that energy was not right for you. And there's something here too, like I said, about being like, I just want this, or I just want that, I want my life to look like this, or I want it to embody this energy. And when you did that, when you sent out that prayer to the universe, the energy came back, and it might have actually caused you to kind of reject this new energy or this new cycle beginning for a little bit, because it was like, okay, well, we got to clear out all this junk, right? We got to clear out all this junk. We got to clear, not to call people junk, you know what I'm talking about, but all this like karmic, just gunk that's holding you back. And yeah, sometimes that can look like people, it can look like environments. It's just like this very harsh, judgmental environment. And it's kind of like the blind leading the blind kind of situation here. Yeah. Yeah. It's like blindly following like a friend group or a group of people that you were in. It's like they expect blind followers. And you got rejected because you were waking up. You got rejected because you were taking off that blindfold and seeing these people in places for what they really were. So they rejected you. So that made you feel very rejected. And that kind of might have passed on a little bit of that rejection of this new cycle that you had coming in for you, right? You might have rejected it a little bit and been like, nah, I don't want to feel this way about my friends and my family, or I don't want to be the odd person out. I already feel like the odd person out. And now I extra feel like the odd person out. But spirit is like, exactly. Like this feeling of discomfort of feeling like the odd one out is your cue that the situation is not for you, right? It's not your cue that you need to change, or that your friends need to change, in the sense that you need to try to change them, or make or force them to accept you, or you need to change yourself to fit into their standards. No. It's a sense of you need a change of direction, of energy. It's fine if you have to, Spirit, they just keep giving me this kind of energy of it's so important. It's the people that you have around you right now are so important because your energy is really awakening. It's really your energy field is very sensitive right now. You're protected. You're protected and you're protecting your energy field. But there is something here. Thank you, Spirit. There is something here around this. Yeah, there is something here around your fear making you reject letting go or making you reject the lesson that Spirit is trying to teach you here. Like, no, I don't want to take it. I don't want to take this cup. I don't want to take this brand new beginning. No, because my friends won't like me or my family won't like me or, I'll get made fun of or, I'll continue. Like, what? You're telling me to embrace the thing that's been the main issue in my life for my whole life that's made everybody reject me or not want me or not want to be around me? Like, what do you mean? Just embrace who I am. That's the very so Spirit is saying like there's a very important lesson here around the fact that you weren't the problem, right? You weren't the problem. It was the people around you who wanted to tear you down because you were different that was the problem, right? You being different wasn't the problem. You being unique wasn't the issue. It's the fact that the people that you had around you couldn't accept you for being who you are. And if that's the case, then they don't deserve to be in your energy. Then why? You know? And it can get hard. It gets really hard to get to that level of acceptance of being like, then why should I care? Like, right? If they don't accept me and love me for who that I am, why should I care? Right? If this place doesn't want to pay me what I deserve to be paid, then why should I stay? Right? If I feel undervalued, then why am I here? And it's that kind of issue. Like, it's always this issue of feeling like, yeah, that's it. You always felt like you were the problem and you were never the problem. There's that Page of Pentacles we were talking about earlier. That's the choice you need to make. That's the lesson you need to learn. You've been balancing, going back and forth always. You're balancing. Okay, yeah, because they're showing me the Two of Pentacle cards that's in the, oh, what deck is that? It's the Mermaid Tarot. It's the Mermaid Tarot with the Two of Pentacles where it has like the rabbit that's like dancing for the two like mer people that are watching them like from the swamp, and it's that kind of energy. Yes, okay, yes, it's that energy. It's like when you're stuck in the swamp, when you're stuck, when you're those people who are all the way neck deep, because that's in the imagery. It's like this rabbit that's on the land and they're like dancing back and forth with these Two of Pentacles, and it's like these two people that you see like in the swamp with like their head like up to here, like all the way up to their chin, and they're just watching like watching this rabbit like perform for them. And that's what it always gives me. The energy of that particular Two of Pentacles cards always gives me this energy of performing to fit in where you don't fit in. Like, why is that rabbit performing to be accepted by these swamp people? Like, you can't even go live in the swamp. Like, you never could, and you were never meant to. Like, you're two different people doing two different things. It's like you trying to change yourself to be a part of this group because you felt like, yeah, you always felt like there was something different about you in a negative way. And Spirit's like, your differences is what makes you beautiful. You know? It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you understand that you don't really belong here. But you shouldn't take that in a negative sense, like, oh, I don't belong, I'm not accepted. You should take that in a sense of like, wow, I don't belong here. I need to get out. Right? Like, I'm not accepted and I don't belong here. But I feel like you grew up or you had a lot of people in your past make you feel like you were always the problem, you were always the issue, and you needed to change to fit in with them, change to fit into us, change to fit into our group, change who you are. Like, we don't truly accept you for who you are. You should change that person. You should change who you really are. At the end of the day, Spirit is saying, don't change. As long as the things that people, as long as it's not you hurting yourself or hurting other people, that people are asking you to change. If it's the things that you like to do and the things that you like to wear or how you like to spend your time, it's like a person. They're showing me an example of a person that's like a real homebody or likes to stay by themselves or likes to, like be at home or likes to do other things, and they change themselves, or they're like a person that surrounds themselves with people that likes to go out and drink and party, but really they'd rather not be doing that. They'd rather be home like reading or researching or, you know, yeah, maybe they'd be out, but they wouldn't be doing that, like maybe they'd rather be sitting at a park or like sitting on a beach or relaxing or doing something like that, as opposed to like being at the club partying. But all that's what all their friends like to do. So that's the person that they become. And then when they finally just start deciding, like, wow, they start looking at themselves and going into that hermit mode and being like, wow, I actually really don't like to do this. I actually really don't like to feel this way. I actually don't like to be drunk, actually. Like, and then it's kind of like you've changed, like, and then you start saying no to going out, or you start saying no to going out drinking or to doing that or to partying, and people are like, you're just becoming so dull. You're like a duller version of yourself. Like, you used to love to go out and party. It's like, no, I didn't. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, you have. You've always loved that. You're the wildest one at the parties. Like, you love drinking. Like, you love partying. Like, no, I don't. I never did. I never did enjoy that. It just, like, I loved you guys, like, you're my friends, and I always just wanted to go hang out and be with you. Or, I really like, or I'm at this job or something, and everybody after work goes out drinking and partying, and it's like, okay, I guess I will too, because I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel like I fit in. Or it's like things are happening that you don't agree with, and you don't speak up, or you shut your mouth because you felt like everybody else is just putting up with it, or everybody else is just dealing with it, and so you should too. It's that kind of situation where it's like, oh, group think. It's like overcoming group think. Absolutely. Right? I don't want to feel, it's fine. I'm not the issue. I'll just remove myself from this group. This group is for me, the group is the issue, because I just don't fit in with you guys. I'm just not, and that's okay. It's okay that I don't fit in with you, because when I admit to myself I don't fit in, and that's okay, and you release that and let go of that, that frees you up from guilt, from shame, from insecurities. Your friends and your family, the people around you, they shouldn't make you feel insecure about yourself. They shouldn't bring out those insecurities in you. They should be complimenting you. And that's what spirit is saying. Instead of contrasting with you, right? Instead of being in competition with you, instead of always comparing themselves to you, or you, it's like you kept yourself in the sense of always comparing yourself, like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not skinny enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not, a lot, oh, they have, partners, or I don't, or they have this, or I don't, or it's like being that odd person out that always felt like you needed to change because society told you that you needed to change to fit in with everybody else. You should feel this way, you should look this way, you should do this, you should feel like this about that, because that's just what you should do. Yeah, and spirit is saying you don't need to do that anymore. You can stand on your throne and stand in your uniqueness and stand in your happiness, and that's what's going to help you accepting this lesson that spirit is teaching you. It's learning a lesson of, it's not them, it's not me, it's them. And then also learning, well, it's also not them. Let me not blame them. Let me not demonize them. Let me not say, well, I'm just trying to be myself and you're trying to corrupt me, and that means you're terrible, horrible people. It just means you don't belong with them, and that's okay. Release them. And let it go. Release the situation. Release this job. Release this family group. Release your need for their acceptance. Thank you, Vita Bohem. Yes, thank you. Like, yes. Acceptance neither required nor desired, right? Exactly. Like, you don't have to. Yeah, and this is a tower moment for you. This is like a beautiful moment of growth for you. This is a awakening for you here, of you understanding, like, wow, I really need to set my boundaries. And when I set my boundaries, like, people show themselves, and then people are going to test my boundaries. And when I set new boundaries, the people who are really there for me are going to respect those new boundaries and be like, oh, I totally see you, I respect you, you're doing your own thing, that's cool, we can still be friends, that doesn't matter to me. Or they're going to be like, no, you've changed, or you need to do this, or I just can't be friends with you anymore. I'm feeling guided to share this, like, personal experience when which I'm no longer friends with this person, which was really hard for me to deal with, but it is what it is at this point. I was sharing some of my spirituality with this person, and I was sharing, and this person literally told me, they said, your newfound spirituality is making it really hard for me to be friends with you. And it just really struck me. It really hurt me, honestly. Like, it really hurt me and it really struck me because I was just like, why? You know, you reinvent yourself all the time. You decide that you want to do this. No, I'm going to stop doing that and I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to stop this career and I'm going to do that. No, I'm going to go, I'm going to marry this person. I'm going to do that. And I had accepted and loved that person through all their changes of their life and of their cycle and of them deciding to reinvent themselves or be a new person or be this. And I had always been like, okay, even if it's something that I don't vibe with, even if it's something that I'm like, okay, um, it's not something that I'm really into, but if it really makes you happy, okay. You know, I never asked them to silence themselves. I never asked them to change. I never told them, and I understand spirituality is a little bit deeper. It's a different type of lifestyle choice, but it really did hurt me when this person was basically like, I was sitting there saying, like wow, like I've really found a lot more happiness. It's really helped me in so many areas of my life. It's given my life direction. It's given me purpose. It's amazing. I'm discovering all these new things and it's just really interesting. And it doesn't mean I 100% believe all these things, that I'm just accepting everything that I'm believing, but it's exciting to try all these new things and to try all these concepts like manifesting and just reading more books about spirituality and expanding myself, and they weren't really a person that had completely decided if they really accepted something beyond just the physical world, and and it wasn't like you're stupid for believing in this, but it was like a situation where it's like I've tried, like this person literally broke down and told me like I've tried manifesting and it didn't work for me. And I'm like, okay, but there are things in my life, because I was sharing with this person like things that I had literally manifested into my life. And so it took time for me to see some emotional issues that this person was dealing with beyond that. But at the time it just really felt like wow, like you can't just love me and accept me for who I am. We've been in each other's lives for 20 years, you know. um you can't just love me and accept me for me finding my spirituality, me finding my faith, um because it wasn't like I don't know. um and it's a sensitive subject. Some people can feel like you just expressing yourself can feel like you trying to shove your religion or your spirituality down their throat, when that really wasn't. I was just expressing that I had found these things, that I discovered these things, that I had, that I was finding this stuff, and it was really helping me to deal with a lot of my childhood trauma and things that, of course, this person had been in my, been a friend of mine for 20 years. There's a lot of things in my life that I'd gone through that I had shared with them. And I'm like, yo, a lot of things I knew that we had shared with each other, insecurities and past trauma that we had shared in our life. And I was like, yo, finding this stuff is really helping me to heal. And it feels really amazing. It feels really grand. Like I feel so much happier. It feels, and that's what I was saying. I was like, I genuinely feel the happiest that I've felt in years of my life. And, I feel like my depression lifting, and I feel my purpose. I feel like finding my purpose in my life. And as soon as I said that, the next thing that came out of their mouth was, have you ever heard about, what is it? It was like toxic positivity, where it's just like, and to me that came off as like them saying like, are you really actually happy? Or are you just pretending that you're happy? Is your happiness actually real? And I'm like, yes. And I think it's fair enough to say, I think it's fair enough to say, are you, but I was really making moves and making differences and setting up, and doing and changing my life. The things I was going through was really inspiring me to actually put things into action, to actually change my life. And yeah, it was very heartbreaking to me that I felt like when all I wanted was them to be like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Like genuinely, I'm happy for you. Like if that's how you really feel, cool. Like, hey, I don't share your faith, but that's cool. Like if it really helps you, I'm happy for you, you know? Um, yeah. So it kind of threw me off that wasn't the reaction that I got. But at the end of the day, You know, when the truth comes out, it comes out, and sometimes you can face those things, and sometimes people can face their own insecurities, and they can face their own things inside of themselves that are making them have nasty reactions to you and your improvement in your life. And sometimes you can't overcome those things, and sometimes you go your separate ways. And it's hard to get to that point where you're like, okay, acceptance, let it go out of my heart, you know? So if some of you did experience a similar situation to that, or experience similar, you know, yeah, that's all a part of a gift that spirit is giving you, in a sense of, it can feel like a very terrible, a terrible, beautiful gift. It is giving you an opportunity to walk away from things that just no longer align with you. And it could be things, like I said, that was a friendship that I let go of after 20 years. And that was a person that I felt like would be in my life forever. Like, I thought we had made jokes about how we would literally be two old grandmas sitting together, like watching our grandkids play, like just being like, back in my day, ha ha ha, like that kind of friendship, and that kind of alignment with somebody that I thought that I had, and things change. And sometimes it can be really hard. Like Eight of Cups is about walking away from realizing that, wow, I want 10 cups, but I've put so much into something emotionally that I have 8 cups here, but I'll always be limited to 8 cups. Like, I'll never get to that 10 cup. And if I want those 10 cups, I've got to walk away from this, because it no longer serves me. There's a lie here. There's a lie here. There's a truth. There's a sense of, I want you to lie about who you are and compromise who you are and your path to please and fit me, so that who I view you as doesn't have to change, right? And it's like, we don't own people. We can't, we don't own people. They are allowed to change, and their opinions are allowed to change, and how they feel about themselves and how they see the world, it's allowed to change. They're allowed to decide to be somebody else. And we can either, we just have to end at the end of the day say, can I accept that person for who they are, or can I not? And the ideal thing is to not project those insecurities onto that person, or fight or argue or have negative, reactions to those things, to be able to stop and respond to them instead, but there are plenty of times in my life when I have reacted very nastily to things, right? But yeah, it's about you taking those swords of betrayal out of your back. So it's like this wasn't a betrayal, right? It was, which Spirit says they understand how it feels like a betrayal, right? But the truth is, you just don't align with this environment, with these people, with these places, with these things anymore, because you are unaligning with not living your truth, right? You are stepping into living your truth. You are stepping into living your true happiness. And yeah, Spirit saying you don't need to let other people's fears, doubts, or insecurities make you doubt that, or make you waver on that. There are many things in our life that we think will always be in our life that Spirit at some point will ask us to let go of or walk away from. And these can be things exterior to us, like environments, houses, homes, people, places, things. It can also be things within us, a vision of our future, a vision of what our life will be like, you know? And sometimes it can be really hard to mourn the loss of those things, right? You hear it all the time, where people lose relationships, where they lose, where they lose children, or they lose relationships, and it's like, I'm mourning the possibility of this whole life that I was building, future casting, building in my mind. And when that completely falls apart, our mind's kind of like, what am I going towards? What's my goal now? What am I building towards? Because all the work and the love and the sacrifice that I was doing in the past was building towards that. Oh my God, why? you know and we can get stuck in that energy of asking, like why. And even when we start walking down the new path, we can kind of begrudgingly walk down that new path, because it's like, sometimes it can feel like we don't have a choice but to walk down that path. And it's like, damn, like, why couldn't I bring those people along with me? Or why couldn't I stay at that job? Or why did I have to go through that energy? um but at the end of the day, as much as it might be hard for us to accept that, we cannot control how the experiences that we ask spirit to give us come to us and show up in our life. But again, like I said, we can always control how we respond to it. And we can respond to it with acceptance and love. And of course, that doesn't mean that you have to respond to it blank facely, like, cool. All my friends want to turn their back on me. Cool. Like, my family wants to turn their back on me. Cool. My boss wants to suddenly jump up and unjustly fire me. That's fine. No, not spirit's not saying that they expect you to act like a robot. It's fine, right? Forgive yourself. It's okay that it's okay, right? It's okay if you were angry. It's okay if you were guilty. It's okay if you felt shame. It's okay if you felt angry. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Forgive and let go. Forgive those people. Forgive yourself. Come to some form of acceptance, right? Try to come to some form of acceptance and be okay with the length of time and the journey that it takes you to get there. It's okay, right? You will get there. And for a lot of us, I feel like on the surface, we are very accepting of those things. But subconsciously, there definitely is some guilt or some pain or some shame that spirit is asking you to really release and let go of. Yep. Period. Right? It's that time. Because this, whatever you're holding on to is actually keeping you at a distance from what you want the most. It's actually creating resistance and allowing new relationships or new environments. You're like, okay, well, I'm ready. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready for these new things to come in. I'm ready for these new things to come in. And spirit is like, there's some steps. There's some steps in between. Yeah. But it's time for you to let go of the fear and the anxiety and the shame and those low vibrational kind of emotions, or those low vibing, the things that really make you feel like unaccepted or unloved, or even anger. If you feel anger, there's some kind of self-sabotage here in your anger and holding on to anger or holding on to judgment of these past people in some type of way. Yeah, definitely. All right. Is there anything else? No? Okay. Well, that's what I have for you guys. I hope that this gave you some kind of love, light, and clarity for your life, okay? Um, this is something I feel like is a subject we've been talking about a lot on the channel, of releasing and letting go. And I definitely, yeah, there's a lot that the spirit asks us to go through. Um, but it's really about changing that mindset. Spirit is saying, it's like, it's not a lot that spirit is asking you to go through. There's something here about changing the way that you view the experiences that you have that's really going to make it a lot easier for you to release and let go when situations like this happen in the future, or when, next time that things come around, or in next situations, you'll be stronger, you'll be wiser, you'll know more about what to do, you'll pay attention to red flags more, you won't make as many excuses for yourself or for other people, you'll have those boundaries, you'll stand firmly in how you view yourself, and that's how you're really going to cultivate that really beautiful, balanced, loving, happy relationships around you. This is a lesson that you really needed to learn, because you would continue to make the same mistakes, to continue to let the same type of people into your life, just with different faces and different situations. You continue to fall for those jobs that are going to treat you the same way that your past job treated you, or you're going to continue to surround yourself with people they'll end up treating you the same way your past people ended up treating you, or in relationships the same. So spirit is saying, it's a hard blessing to accept, and they realize that, right? It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard blessing to accept, but it's time that you really find some kind of peace, some kind of inner peace in accepting that. All right. yeah. Thank you guys so very much, and I will see you lovelies in the next one. Let me know down in the comment section down below if this resonated for you. If you guys are interested in getting a personal reading from me or reaching out to me for any of my services that I offer, please check the links in the description box down below, as well as my contact information that's down there as well. Okay, I'll see you lovelies in the next one. Bye.